My name is Gabe P, Mr. On the Radar Radio, pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. On the Radar is a music platform, I would say for us, by us, that brings a lot of people together, whether that's bridging the gap between the young generation and the old generation, whether that's bridging the gap between genres or just between artists in general. You never know who you're gonna see on here. Every day you wake up and you're like, you might get Moneybagg Yo today, you might get Drake today, or you might get bro from down the block who just has, a following, but whose music we mess with or who we're cool with that we want to help promote. I started On the Radar back in 2018 when I had graduated college and I was working full-time as a social media manager for Power 105.1. The whole reason why I started On the Radar, I came up under, the Angie Martinez, the Breakfast Club, and I spent most of my college days in that radio station and just kind of like absorbing content from what was going on at the time, the Everyday Struggle, the Combat Jack show. I was a huge fan of Stretch and Bobbito and what they created in the 90s with their radio show and how they broke all this talent. And I had just seen there was a generational gap for my generation and for the next generation. So what I really wanted to create was a platform that would kind of be more inclusive, less gatekeepy, and more kind of just focused on the future and what we're doing. And I think I just watched this Larry Jackson interview, and he was talking about voices and people having voices and how someone like Sexy Red's voice matters just as much as any other artist's voice. And he also mentioned the power of the phone and how, before everything was very gatekept within music, but now anybody could be successful within the genre and just successful in this entertainment industry. The way I model this platform is a very similar train of thought. With a lot of platforms, there's a very linear mindset or way that they operate where it's okay, boom, you meet 1, 2, 3 criteria and boom, we're good, you know what I'm saying? Or you pay this fee, boom, you're on the show. And I think me and my team as a whole, we operated kind of like a record label in the sense of we do a lot of A&R work. We look for things that we like, we look for things that we may not like, but we try to understand why people like certain things. And even if we may not be always the biggest fan of it, if it has a fan base and it's important to a specific group of people, it's okay, let's understand why these people like it, and then let's bring that artist on the show and feed their fans what they like. And each one of us kind of bring different artists to the table, you know what I'm saying? Rob is really, brings a lot of great R&B artists as well, a lot of great rappers. John brings a lot of great rappers as well. Calvin brings the miscellaneous artists that, a lot of us sometimes might overlook but are just as important to this culture as anybody else. And Aiden, who is the most recent addition to our team, he brings a lot of the underground artists who a lot of us may not always see because we're not always as tapped in with the underground as everybody else. And me and Toby were really good at keeping those label connections and also finding these next superstars, as you've seen many on our show, like Ice Spice, Cash Cobain, Chow Lee, Wolfface Joey, Lonnie Love, etc. We've really done a great job of handpicking and finding incredible talent to bring to OTR and kind of help change their lives too. What encouraged me to do this with Billionaire Boys Club and On the Radar was because I was broke when I was a kid, so I couldn't afford Billionaire Boys Club, right? But now that I'm an adult, Billionaire Boys Club has always been a brand that I have loved for so long. So when Billionaire Boys Club came to us for the dinner, for the shirt, for the DJ sets, I was like, oh, this is perfect because we could really show off this community that we've been building, that we've been helping curate for the last 3 years, and we could even amplify that together and celebrate it for the entire month of June. It was so beautiful to do the dinner with everybody and not only see our logos combined into one, but also see all the artists pop out and show love. And it was really a beautiful moment because a lot of those artists started out with 3 years ago. I've been rocking with them 3 years and now some of them are going gold, got platinum production record. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that we've all done in this time. Drake's been on the Radar. We've all really thugged this whole thing out together for these last couple years. And again, that's building that community. And a lot of the DJs that we're showcasing this month, we really need to, highlight the importance of DJs in hip hop and kind of the culture that is being created in New York with the new music, with the Slizzy movement and with everything being in its own circular thing of all of us occupying the same space. I think that we have to continue to build each other up. I ain't gonna lie, everybody was outside for the first Friday, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how all these other Fridays pan out and how many other people we could get to pop out and kind of just celebrate hip hop and celebrate the music that we're all creating and celebrate the culture that we're creating together as well. Our most viewed video on YouTube is for the 401 Cypher, Kyle Rich, Jen Carter, and Tata. I admit when I'm wrong because I think we have to learn from the times that we're wrong. And at the time, I just wanted Kyle Rich. And I remember my brother Touch, who managed all of them, was like, nah, bro, you got to do the trio. And I was like, iffy about doing it. He's like, nah, bro, you got to trust me and believe in me. And this is also why I always say, you got to trust your gut and trust the people who are around you. And I was like, you know what? I trust you. Let's make this happen, right? And it became the most viewed cypher in On the Radar history. And I remember after that, they got signed. And then, I got a call from them one day from Touch, and it was just him thanking me after they got signed, how they're in better places now and they're doing all this. And they actually just went gold for their new song Bent, which is, you know, so amazing to be able to see and be a part of that process. I'm so proud of them. And then being from New York is just, that just is like the icing on the cake. And then another New York artist who I'll use as an example is like Layla, who is technically like the first R&B artist that we've ever really broken to this level. And I've been trying to really break into this R&B space. And when she came and she did her On the Radar experience, which is a new series that we're doing, I think at that moment when we were recording, we knew that it was going to like be this very special moment for us at On the Radar and for her. And since then, she's gone up like 40, 50,000 followers on Instagram. The clip has like 17 million views on TikTok. You know, the Like That song that she had has been so impactful and so incredible. And she's only 18 and she makes all her own beats. She's just overall like an incredible artist. And she opened up for Tizo Touchdown. They knew all the words to the song before it even came out. And I remember at the after party, I ran into her and she was telling me about how like everybody was like, oh, like you're the girl from On the Radar, and they were singing Not My Problem. The song isn't even out as of us doing this recording. So that's been like really cool to see like her growth and her evolve into this as well. We're never done evolving, we're never done growing. So I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm too complacent with where we are and where we're at. And for me, like kind of keeping that importance of like discovery of new talent and discovery of other genres and bringing other people into OTR that, you know, our core fan base wouldn't expect to see, and bringing in other fan bases. I think that's always become so important to me. Like, and I tell people a lot, like On the Radar is very much like the United States, and that's a funny way to kind of like talk about it, but it's just so many different cultures clashing in one place, which is often why that you see so many think pieces or so many different kind of like critiques and comments about OTR, because you have like the boom bap fan base getting like kind of like their artists one day, but then you'll get like the underground people getting their artists another day, and then you'll get the R&B artists or the Spanish artists or the French artists or the London artists. You get the point. So there's always all these cultures clashing in one place, but I think that's also the beauty of it, because it opens up dialogue, it opens up conversation, and it opens up the world to like this platform. Putting music out is cute, but if you're not also doing the work to make sure that your music is promoted on the right channels, then you're not really doing the right work. I think that it's very important for artists to like just kind of do their research on every way that they can get their music out there, because there's a lot of money that they're missing out there by not monetizing on the TikTok, on Twitter. Literally, like I think that one of the biggest mistakes artists make when they're creating is not putting their music on Twitter, because Twitter is such an important place for artistic discovery. And honestly, something lately that has been a core focus for me and my team. But it'll be interesting watching how certain artists do really well on Twitter versus other artists doing really well on TikTok. And again, that kind of goes back into telling you about the different types of artists that we bring on OTR. It's just us trying to hit all these different fan bases, but as an artist and as a creative, you should always be leveraging every single medium that you can to get your music out there. People want to consume your music. So what the next 3 to 5 years look like for On the Radar? So first of all, we started our country music series this year, which has been doing pretty well so far. So we're definitely going to keep doing that and doubling down on that. DJ sets, obviously we've been doing them with Billionaire Boys Club, but we're going to keep doing them here in the studio. And then of course is bringing artists from the towns and DJs from the towns to kind of continue to build that community that we already have. We started On the Radar Records, so that's been really dope. We have a couple projects on the way. One project I can't talk about that's coming out is our joint project with Chow Lee and Lonnie Love, which I believe is a 6 or 7 song EP. Called Lovely Sounds, so that'll be coming very soon. Also On the Radar is getting into the management space. I also manage Lonnie Love now, so we're also working on more stuff like that. And there are some other things that are kind of cooking that are in the works that I can't talk about just yet, but really we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, keep shining light on the people that don't get the light shined on them, and kind of mixing that with the big artists that we have here. So I'm just excited to continue to push the culture forward and keep changing and keep growing and give opportunities to more people. Wealth is of the heart and mind and not the pocket. It's funny because there's actually a line in this R2R Mo song. You don't need bread to be rich, go get a piece of your mind and find some shit that you can do to be happy as shit. Yeah, the reason why I love that song and what Mo's been doing in general is because that's how he really moves, and I feel like I move the same way. Like, not so much the money for me, but it's more about the culture that we create through the money that we're making. You know, obviously money's coming into OTR. It keeps all the lights on, it keeps all of us paid, it keeps me paid. But a lot of the money we reinvest back into like what we're doing, whether it be like better cameras or events. Like kind of Mo said, like go find something that you love to do and you don't need bread to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And find your peace of mind. Wealth is of the heart and mind and not the pocket. Shout out BBC.